welcome to the Tuesday of edition of Witchcrafting. I am your host, Bleue August, and today I'm going to show you how to make witches balls. This one here is one that I've had several years. I bought it at a local festival, and it was a little bit more than I wanted to pay, but I loved it, and so I had to have it, and of course, I have it now. But anyway, I'm going to show you options on creating and making your own that are a lot less inexpensive. But let me tell you first a little bit about the history of the witch's ball. Of course, we all know what a witch's ball is and what it's used for, but it became popular back in England during the 18th century, but the origin is thought to be much, much older. They were hung in the home windows to ward off evil spirits and ill wishes that were directed to the family. Hanging these balls in windows was thought to tantalize spirits because of their colors and trap them inside whenever they touched the ball, forever keeping the spirit. Let's see. It says later they were hung from mantelpieces and vases for a more decorative effect. Americans began to see witches' balls during the 19th century, and they began popping up in gardens and became known as gazing balls. So yes, those reflective silver gazing balls that you see out in people's yards and gardens are actually a form of a witch's ball, for those who did not know. It says the modern Christmas ornament is also a descendant of the witch's ball. They were placed on the tree to dispel envy from visitors at the presents placed underneath the tree. Sometimes the balls are blue or green in color and are traditionally made of glass. Other times they have been made from wood, grass, or twigs. Okay, so an inexpensive way for making witches balls, of course, is a Christmas ornament. As you can see, here's the and I just simply took different colors of paint, dipped the paint in there, swirled it all around, and then I just turned it upside down for a couple days and let it drain out. As you can see, there's the color that I did that for each color. So I actually started these witches balls last Tuesday after I finished my other craft, because like I said, it takes a couple days per color for it to dry, and then it still was not dry to my liking, so I don't recommend this, but I popped it in my toaster oven, and I think it was like 250 for 10 minutes, if even that, maybe 5 minutes, because as you can see, the paint started to dissipate on this, and it even, I don't know if you can see here, started to bubble a little bit. So that's why I do not recommend putting these in the oven. Just simply wait out the drying time for your paint. But I become impatient sometimes on these things, and so I did that. And then I have one here, believe it or not, as you can see the shape of it, it is a hollowed out light bulb. Yes, see, hollowed out light bulb. The white powder that is inside these light bulbs is actually kaolin clay, which is stuff that is made for in beauty products and stuff. Once I hollowed out my light bulb, which I will put the link in the description bar on where you can go to learn how to hollow out a light bulb. It was very simple. I do recommend protective gear and gloves, because the glass and stuff that is inside these, when it breaks, is very fine, and you don't want that in your skin because it will drive you crazy trying to get it out. But anyway, to get the powder out of here, I just put, after I hollowed it out, I put sand in there, shook it all around, and it I left a spot. I don't know if you can see, but as you can see, clear glass. I do not recommend using the new bulbs that they are making that has the fluorescent light up in them, because the fluorescent ones are toxic. So if you can get any old light bulbs, I suggest hoarding them, because before long these type of light bulbs will become obsolete. But anyway, for this one, I simply took some Elmer's school glue, of course poured it in here, swirled it all around, and then I don't know what I did with it, but hold on just a second while I go get it and just stare at whatever it is you're staring at. Check this here. It is, this is German glitter glass. Yes, it is actual glass. It's very fine. Again, be careful working with it, because again, like the light bulb, you can get this, in your skin. But after I swirled the glue all around, let the glue dump out, I poured this in and, swirled it all around, and then let it dry for several days. Again, I became impatient with it drying, and as I said, I don't recommend it. But the light bulb, because it is heat resistant glass, it didn't do quite as bad as the bulb. It dried the glitter and the glue. So, but if you have children that you're working with, I don't recommend the oven. But then I just simply took some wire, strung some beads on it, wrapped it around, twisted up so I have a handle, tied some ribbon on it, did some beads on it, my pentagram, and now both of these are ready to put the herbs in it. Now my light bulb one here, I'm not going to do the traditional, because this one is more for promoting happiness, love, harmony, peace in my home. So I have herbs. Of course I want protection too, but I don't want to trap spirits in this one. So this one does not have a lid, because I want the feelings, the intent that I'm going to spread out through my home. So I am putting in this one my herbs for it. I'm of course putting a little bit of mugwort for protection. Again, these are just herbs that I have used with intuition. I didn't look in a book to see. This is just what my intuition told me to use. I have I have roses for love. So I can get some more rose petals. So some rose petals. Of course, not one of them went in there. Some rose petals for love. Then I have some St. John's wort going in for happiness. And finally, I have pennyroyal. Yes, I don't have a container for it. And I am using to promote friendship. Of course, I have the color blue, because blue is for harmony, peace, healing. So that's why I used blue. But of course, as everyone knows, my colors anyway are blue. With this one, then I will just simply hang in a window of my home so that it is ready to go. Also, my I have crystals on here. I have the clear quartz, I have some goldstone, and I have lapis lazuli. I can't say it, but lapis. I'm in my pentacle. But again, the crystals, stones were picked for intuition. So there you have a witch's ball, or spell bottle made out of a light bulb. And You can use other, see I have a little one here that I've used. It has 9 different herbs. I think there's love, happiness, healing, harmony, peace, friendship, just different protection. Then there's some citrine and some garnet chips in there. You can't see those, but they are in there. This one is actually going to go in the mail to someone who it's going to be as a surprise. Now for this ball, since I want it for protection, I have the pieces of thread. I'm putting 3 pieces of thread in it. There's one. I don't know if you can see these. There's 2. Poke it down in there. Oops. And then there's 3. Now most of the websites and things I've seen say use either red or silver thread. Again, I went the intuition and I did not use those colors because I like colors besides just, red and silver. It's believed, the colors on the ball will attract. So, I did colorful things. Mine, in a sense, is one that will also honor Danu and the Morgan, because those are 2 deities that I work with. And my herbs is a mixture of a protection powder that I kind of combined the 2 recipes together. There was one that Brenda Crozier had done on her channel, and then Meg, aka, from Elizabeth's Story here, our lovely and wonderful Wednesday Witchcraftin host, did a protection powder back a couple weeks ago, I believe. So I mixed up the 2 that from Brenda Crozier and Meg, and those will be going into my witch's ball. Maybe I'm gonna have to get something better to do. Let's see this pinch there. I usually do at least 3 pinches, just because I work in 3s. Probably add a total of 9, but just for camera purposes. And then you would, just put your cap back on there, which I'm not going to do right now. And then just hang it. You could decorate it like I did my light bulb. Like I said, the possibilities are endless. Use your intuition and do it your way. Don't have to follow the books, the website. Just do what works for you. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this craft, and I will see you all next week. Have a lovely day, my witchy friends.